Amani kutoka you. Peace from above. Good morning, Jambo. Hello, Jambo. How y'all doing? Friday, TGIF. Welcome to Blacks, BLAX, Black, BLACK TV, where I expound upon the benefits of being a Black FBA man whose forefathers and foremothers created what makes the whole wide world go round. Today, I'm going to be speaking upon Imanuel to break the spell that they in. One more time. Imanuel to break the spell that they's in. Now, it's time for my brothers to get themselves together and realize and recognize everything that these folks been trying to disrupt is because GodWithUs allows them to do that. They was allowed to take and manipulate the language. They was allowed to take and manipulate the book of life. They was allowed to do that because at the Tower of Babel, GodWithUs allowed them to manipulate until he decided it would be time to bring it back like it's supposed to be. And that would be by through in and of his power that man in and of himself has forgotten what it is. Because what it truly is the understanding as to why only I keep talking about Imanuel. All them other folks, they talk about Imanuel, but they don't talk about Imanuel. They would tell you that Imanuel, Matthew 1:23, whose name ain't God with us, is just another name for Jesus. I'm going to say again. They would tell you that Matthew 1:23, Imanuel, whose name ain't God with us, is just another name for Matthew 1:25. Now, when you look at Matthew 1:25, you can't see Matthew 1:23 because you have already disrespected what you see by saying within your own mind that 25 overrules 23. Again, how can 25 overrule 23? It can't. It can't overrule 23. GodWithUs allow the book of life to be manipulated until his chosen time comes and his chosen people are being administered to by through in and of Imanuel, because that's who I'm copying. I'm copying Imanuel. That's who I'm imitating is Imanuel. One more time. Because Imanuel, Matthew 1:23, also is Acts 4:12. Because Acts 4:12, nor is there salvation in any other, for there is no other name under heaven given among men by which we must be saved. Now let me see if I got this right. Acts 4:12, one name given among men. Matthew 23, Imanuel, whose name ain't go with us. Or Matthew 25, Jesus, whose name has no meaning. So now I understand why 23 was not allowed to be changed because there's no way gold was allowed 23 to be equal to Acts 4:12. Because Acts 4:12 says plain and simple, only one name given among men on earth, guaranteed. That would be the man's whose name means go with us. I'm just saying, going by what I see. Because I don't need nobody to tell me what I see don't count. What you say is more important than what I see. Because see, I do not acknowledge Jesus, except that's your God. You can have Jesus, that's your God. Allah, that's your God. Buddha, that's your God. Jehovah, that's your God. Just like when Samson was captured, those people gave praise to their God, Dagon, that they had conquered and captured the man, the strongest man on the face of the earth, who had a jawbone of an ass, 7 locks, and took out 1,000 men. They had captured him, and that was to show the power of their God, all the way up until when Samson, dreading what he had did, dreading what he did, dreading what he did, and his dreading grew his dreadlocks. And he had a head full of dreadlocks. And with his dreadlocks, he took out the whole Colosseum so that everybody and their mama know who gold is, because his power is power. They thought they had captured the strongest man in the world, but only what they had really did was captured the world's ultimate warrior who sacrificed his life. Was gold allowed him to do what he asked. He asked gold, may I get revenge? Yes, you may, my son. Took out the whole Colosseum. One more time. Jawbone of an ass, 7 locks, 1,000 men. Wow. But with his dreadlocks, he took out the whole Colosseum. One more time. They were giving glory for capturing him to their God. But their God was just a gold. He was not gold, because gold sent his messenger and took out the whole Colosseum. Because gold is all about displaying of his power. One more time. Like I tell people, Imanuel was direct implantation. He was directly implanted through man. Excuse me. He was directly implanted by gold of golds. And man is the one who released him, because as you see, then Joseph, being aroused from sleep, did as an angel of gold commanded him, and took to him his wife. In other words, he had to break the virgin womb, as the child could not break the womb from the inside. One more time. He was planted directly, but man had everything to do with him coming forth to this world. But he could not come forth through man, because man's nature is survival first. That is man's nature. Him being a mortal man would have meant 9 times out of 10 he'd have killed Judas, because survival is man's nature. One more time. That's why gold did not allow man to plant him, because what he had to do, no man can or will ever be able to do, because man comes through nature, and you cannot get past that which was before man. Lions and tigers and bears was first, then man. One more time. Gold created lions, tigers, and bears, then man. So man was after the animals. He just gets to name the animals. He gets to be dominant over the animals, because man was and is gold. Man still is gold. a goal, not goal. Man is a goal. One more time. A goal, not goal. A goal, so that you know your place. And your place is behind goal of goals, which will make you a goal. And you don't get the big head. See, like me, I imitate Imanuel in the extent that I am a teacher. I am here to teach those who want to see. See, there's so many people they don't want to see. See, and I ain't trying to see that. What I want to see that for. And I know the feeling. Because I've been there. I've been there. I remember asking God to go, why are you making me see this? His response was, how about you don't see nothing at all? Never mind. I prefer to see what I'm seeing. One more time. See, you pay attention, you can and will see. But you got to believe in the book of life, not in the Bible. What it called itself 7 times in Revelations. It called itself the book of life. When you understand it's the book of life, then you understand Acts 5:30. Acts 5:30, God raised up Imanuel, whom you murdered by hanging on a tree. Excuse me. Acts 5:30, hanging on a tree. Huh? Emmanuel was hung on a tree. Or you want to believe in Jesus, who was nailed to a cross. Oops. One more time. I'm here to do what Emmanuel did, which is to teach. Now you have the choice. You can believe in Emmanuel, who was murdered by hanging on a tree. Or you can believe in Jesus, who was nailed to a cross. One more time. Once you get knowledge, then it's up to you to acknowledge what you see. You can keep on being a part of knowledge when you see Jesus and say Jesus or Jesus. Or you can be part of knowledge that Jesus is Jesus and that's their God. That's your God. Okay, cool. I'm not going to call him what you call him because I'm allowed to say what I see. Excuse me. I'm not going to call Jesus what you call him because I can say what I see. I don't need nobody to tell me I'm not allowed to say what I see. I can look at a J, but I can't say Jesus. I can ask you what's the first letter and you can tell me it's a J, but you still telling me I can't say Jesus. What's the first letter in Jesus? J, but I can't say Jesus. You just told me the first letter in Jesus is J, but I can't say what you see because you can't say what you see. I can say what I see. One more time because I seeded it up to goals. As I tell people time and time again, seeded it up so that he can seed it down, look me in my face and knowledge that I'm knowledging him. I'm not going to give him the back of my head and ask for nothing. Straight up, go to goals, heaven. One more time. I'm already knowing because I see Acts 4:12 and I knowledge it's from Matthew 1:23. One more time. Whose name ain't go with us? Imanuel, Imanuel. And you see how I crossed one of the M's out? One of the M's is supposed to be crossed out for the simple fact that goals says 7 letters. Imanuel. You put them 2 M's in there and you got 8 letters. That's not his name. His name is 7 letters. One more time. As you can see, the I is E. Instead of the E being E, as they got in these newer ones. In the older ones, they all with I with an E. Because I went to school with a young man, and his name was Emmanuel with an E. And I'm reading the Bible at the time, and that had the I with I as Emmanuel. And I just always wondered about that. Not anymore. I understand. One more time. Free your mind, and your ass will follow. The kingdom of heaven is within. The book of life is if you take that Bible and you go to the corner, you peel that off of there and you write book of life on yours. And on the outside, it will say Book of Life. And when you pick it up, you're reading the Book of Life. And as you can see where I changed 25 in the Imanuel, you can do the same thing. Everywhere you see JESUS, you put IMAN, so that you know that means Imanuel. Imanuel. See where it says right there, 24, then Joseph being aroused, did as the angel of the gold. See, not the Lord, because I'm a Lord, I'm a master, I'm a king. I'm not gold. Gold, he did as the angel of gold told him to do. One more time. Pay close attention as this situation continues to elevate yourself. And as you get closer to gold, Satan still gonna throw bricks. That's how you know you're getting closer and closer to gold. One more time, free your mind, and your ass will follow. The kingdom of heaven is within. Emmanuel, Matthew 1:23 is Acts 4:12. Emmanuel, Matthew 1:23 is Acts 5:30. Matthew 1:23 is Matthew 1:25. If you want it to be just like me, you can leave it in glory of their goal, or put it in the name of God's begotten Son, whose name means God with us, who says is guaranteed to get to heaven if you acknowledge him as the begotten Son of God. Acts 4:12, Matthew 1:23, one and the same. And Jesus is their goal. And let them have their goal, Jesus, as we acknowledge Emmanuel. As always, imparting, I want to thank y'all for coming and enjoying Blaxblack TV as I elaborate and teach and imitate and copy and emulate Imanuel one more time. In the name of Emmanuel, God with us. In the name of God's begotten Son. Trip, seas, trip, seas, trip, seas, cool, calm, collected, W, whole wide world. Knowledge what you see, and as you do that, God can and will knowledge you. Pay attention to what you see. Don't let nobody tell you that what you see, you're not allowed to say. You looking at it, Jay, you see, you've been looking at it, Jay. Now see the J. One more time. Stop looking at the J and see the J, and tell them that Jesus is your God. And I'm happy for you. My big brother is Emmanuel, whose name means God with us. Matthew 1:23, Acts 4:12.